So I want to talk about the story of the butterfly and Zhuangzi. So the story goes like this. Once Zhuangzi dreamed he was a butterfly flitting and fluttering about, happy with himself and doing as he pleased. He didn't know he was Zhuangzi. Suddenly he woke up and there he was, solid and unmistakable, Zhuangzi. But he didn't know if he was Zhuangzi who had dreamed he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was Zhuangzi. Between Zhuangzi and a butterfly, there must be some distinction. This is called the transformation of things. What is this story about? Well, we might say, first of all, that the butterfly would represent feelings of spaciousness, lightness, and a feeling of play, right? That's a quality that we can touch in our practice. We tried to touch a little bit of that as we did our mindful movement and a little bit in our meditation. It's also just a feeling that comes up in everyday life. You know, there's some days that we're super stressed out and worried about something, and then we see a friend and we have this, all of a sudden, this really joyful time. And afterwards we go, wow, I feel so good. That was so great to see that person. I feel so light now. And that's a butterfly. That's you being a butterfly. And that's contrasted in this text with our everyday identity, Zhuangzi, or in my case, Greg. And being Greg, I have to tell you, I don't know what it's like for you, but being Greg, it can feel sort of heavy sometimes. I get caught up in these stresses and stories that I've created about myself. And so the text asks us this really interesting thing. But he didn't know. Was he Zhuangzi that had dreamed he was a butterfly? Or a butterfly dreaming he was Zhuangzi? And this is challenging a sort of a category error that we make with our identity. We say that in some sense, fundamentally, I'm Greg. And I'm Greg with this history, with these traumas, with, living in the end times, with everything collapsing. And text is not dismissing the reality of that. But we think that's really me. The butterfly, the dream, it wasn't really him. It was just a dream. But when he was the butterfly, he didn't know he was Zhuangzi. He was just flapping about the place, having a great time. And so we make this category error. We say, this is what's really real. And this is always who I am. But actually, what's really real is that things are changing. And that's what the text ends up with saying. Its distinction is the transformation of things. It's the fact that things are impermanent, that things change. Sometimes I'm the butterfly, and sometimes I'm Zhuangzi, or I'm Greg. Now the text is not saying, well, really, we should be the butterfly the whole time, right? This is kind of like a power of positivity thing. Just be happy, be the butterfly, right? It's not possible. Life is not just the butterfly. In the world of Greg, tragic things really happen. Terrible things do happen. And they leave an effect on my body and obviously the people around us. I mean, we're witnessing these horrors unfold all around us. But what's also real is that I make stories out of all that stuff that happens. And my mind can perpetuate it in some way. And I become identified with that story. This is really all I am. This is who I am. This is what's real. And I lose touch with the butterfly. And so that's why we have to learn to take care of the suffering by being the butterfly, by having those moments through our practice, for example, of cultivating that butterfly feeling. It can help us then to take care of the emotional residue which fuels the intensity of these stories that we're telling ourselves. This I am Greg and whatever else. And look, maybe we'll never get rid of all of our stress, but when we pause, breathe, and when we move with awareness, we touch something beyond the stress. A little bit like waking up inside a dream.